Hi there and welcome to this tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to change the size of your document in Lucidpress. And I have a square social media post here. It's 12.5 by 12.5 and I've created 2 pages. I've just duplicated the page to demonstrate how this works. If I've clicked on anything in the document, I've clicked on this shape here, this shape tab opens up. If I clicked on the image, this image tab opens up. What I want to see over here is the document tab. So I'm going to click in this gray area and my document tab opens. And this is where I can change the page size. I can type it in manually here, just highlight and type. So I see here that this is 12.5 by 12.5. The units are inches. You can change the units to anything you want. So I'm going to choose an 8.5 by 11 to change the size to an 8.5 by 11 just to show you how that works. So this is how Lucidpress would originally change the size of a document. So the size of the page would change, but all the elements on the page would stay the same size. And you have to scale down all those elements to fit in that new size. So if I highlighted everything, I can click on the corner handle and hold down Shift and scale. And I can see that the elements like the shapes and the images are scaling, but that text is remaining the same size. And that would get pretty frustrating because you'd have to go through and click on each text box and change the size of each of those text boxes. So we're not going to have to do that anymore, which is great. They have a new tool and it's called Dynamic Resize. So if you go over to the upper right hand corner and click on More and click on this Dynamic Resize icon, we get this little pop-up box. And Resize Logic, there's a drop-down menu. There are 3 choices here: Scale, Keep Center, and Object Base. And you're going to choose Scale, and this is what you'd use mostly. So I'll just click on Scale, and then you can close this. It'll stay on Scale unless you turn it off. So now I'm going to choose 8.5 by 11 again, and you can see that it scaled all my text and elements to fit the width of that 8.5 by 11. So it did that for both pages. So that's great. It makes it a lot easier to resize things quickly. I still have to change the height of this because it was a square originally, and squares don't fit into rectangles perfectly, so you have to change that. But overall, that dynamic resize tool is pretty handy. So it's not perfect though, and I do want to show you where it's lacking, but I'm going to undo that again. And so let's just say I want to scale or change the size of a page of just one of these pages. So this one, for instance, what I need to do, because there's a background here, I can't click on the white of the page. So I'm just going to move the background a little and click on the white area of the page. So I get my page tab opened up here on the right hand side. And then I'll just do the same thing. I'm just going to click on that drop down arrow and choose letter, and it changes the size of just the one page. So like I said, this tool isn't perfect. If I wanted to change this second page, again, I'm going to click in this white area. So I get my page tab open. I'm going to change this to a smaller square. So it's still a square, which you would think it would scale proportionally and all the elements in the page would fit into my square just right. But if I change this to 5.5 by 5.5, it changes the page size and it changes the size of the elements on the page, but it doesn't scale all of the elements to fit that page, even though it's still a square. So that's, to me, that's a little odd. It shouldn't do that, but you know, this is in beta. I think they're still working on this, so that's one flaw with this tool, but it still works pretty well overall. I'm going to change this to a business card size. That's not a business card. So you can see that overall this changed the size of that entire document to fit this tiny business card size. And again, this is a rectangle and this is a square, so it's not going to be perfect. You do have to adjust a few things, but overall it works pretty well to change the size of your document, and you do that pretty quickly with this resize tool. Thanks for watching.